If you're a lover of fine footwear, when it comes to dressing your feet, nothing beats leather. Because, unlike synthetic materials, leather lets your feet breathe. And high-end leather shoes feature superior construction that makes them lightweight and comfortable to wear. The vision originates with a design sketched on a flexible plastic sheet. To help the stylist perfect the design, they put it on a rigid foot form called a last. Exotic skins have natural variations throughout, so a specialist must hand-cut the pattern pieces to ensure the right and left shoes match well. They use a splitting machine to shave off a layer from the underside, equalizing the thickness of all the pieces. Then a skiving machine thins the edges, so the pieces will be easier to sew together. They punch decorative holes into certain pieces with a manual press, so it's up to the operator to make sure the distance between holes is consistent. The top of the shoe is called the upper. They sew together the upper pieces, then hammer the stitches to make the seams smooth and flat. Next, they glue a narrow leather strip along the border of the upper to hide the leather's unfinished edge. This also produces a decorative trim. Now they attach a lining made of goat leather and flax. This style of lining fits snugly over the last, a particular type of construction that allows for a more comfortable type of insole. They put the lining inside the upper and slip them onto the last. Then they glue on the insole. This type consists of a rigid section, the black part, and a more flexible section, the white part. Now they glue the lining to the upper and put the front of the shoe, called the point, into a machine that grips the edge of the leather and pulls it straight. The next machine's mechanical fingers wrap the edge underneath and glue it, pulling evenly all around so that everything's symmetrical. The next machine does the same thing at the back of the shoe. They grind down the leather edge, creating a flat, even surface that's ready for the sole. Next, they heat the leather to make it malleable and hammer until the upper assumes the shape of the last inside. The hammering also rids the leather of any wrinkles. They coat the underside with glue and carefully position the shoe's leather sole. The glue takes about 10 minutes to dry. Then they run the edge of the sole through a splitting machine. This separates a thin layer, which they now sew to the upper. Durable twine and a heavy-duty looped stitch ensure the upper and sole remain inseparable. To hide the stitching, they glue and grind down the edge. A thorough polishing gives the sole a slick-looking finish. Every pair of shoes this factory produces is polished by a specialist who creates just the right shading to bring out the leather's best features. This is the last step of roughly 200 manual operations that go into producing just a single pair of these luxurious leather shoes.